With just over 2 weeks left before Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul collide, the intensity around the matchup is rising fast. Both camps are pushing toward their physical limits as the final stretch of preparation kicks in. Joshua is drilling his explosiveness, timing, and movement with laser focus, while Paul grinds through conditioning sessions designed to keep him competitive against a bigger, more seasoned opponent. At this point in camp, every round, every drill, and every adjustment feels critical. The closer the date gets, the heavier the anticipation becomes, and the pressure surrounding the fight keeps tightening.
And I have nothing but love for him, but I'm going to knock him out respectfully, and we can hug and kiss afterwards, specifically kiss.
Joshua's preparation for this bout marks a major shift, as he has changed camp structures entirely. After being stopped in September 2024 and undergoing elbow surgery, he approached this training cycle with heightened urgency. Reports indicate he's working on conditioning, technical precision, agility, and ring awareness under the guidance of trainers who previously worked with Alexander Usyk, a dramatic adjustment from his previous setup. Joshua acknowledges that the transition has pushed him further than expected, testing him mentally as much as physically. He's using this period to rebuild confidence, sharpen fundamental strengths, and ensure he's fully ready for what could be a pivotal return. His days begin with ice baths designed to reduce swelling, accelerate recovery, and cultivate mental steadiness. Joshua credits the cold therapy for helping him maintain clarity and resilience ahead of the taxing work that fills the rest of his schedule. It's a strict routine that highlights how committed he is to returning in peak form. Inside the gym, Joshua is immersed in a setting driven by discipline, sharp technique, and constant upgrades. The trainers overseeing his sessions focus heavily on detail, posture, footpaths, punch sequencing, and defensive instincts. Each workout has intention behind it, whether he's drilling rapid-fire bursts or practicing quick reactions under pressure. Ringside observers note that he treats every correction with purpose. Rather than relying solely on raw strength, he's developing a deeper sense of positioning, timing, and counter-attacking angles. His footwork has become more deliberate, transitioning smoothly from evasive movements to crisp reply shots. The environment is designed to challenge him mentally as much as physically, refining his instincts for those unpredictable exchanges that define high-level heavyweight action. Eddie Hearn views this fight with unmistakable seriousness. Fully aware of what hangs in the balance for Joshua, he stresses that the outcome goes far beyond simple bragging rights. It could heavily affect Joshua's future in the sport. Hearn openly admits that a loss here would raise major questions about whether continuing makes sense. Still, his belief in Joshua hasn't wavered. He says the dedication Joshua has shown in recent months, from conditioning to technical work, reflects a mindset typically reserved for title fights. Reports from inside camp paint the picture of a fighter displaying composure and renewed purpose. Even with the weight of expectation on his shoulders, Joshua continues pushing ahead, embracing the moment rather than shying away from it.
You know, Simon, I think he's at that stage of his career where he's trying to rediscover a little bit of that confidence. He's gone to Alexander Usyk, where we're hearing reports he's out there training with Usyk and the team, trying to pick up something, trying to rediscover something.
That's very strange, Paul, isn't it?
It is, but it's not unheard of. I've heard of a lot of fighters doing that. You see fighters, obviously, it's the old Rocky movies years ago, but you see a fighter losing to someone, all of a sudden they go in the camp and they start training and do a little bits together and become friends or whatever else. I think it'll do Joshua no harm travelling, but as you say, he's a little bit long in the tooth and he's a bit on the back nine rather than the front nine, where that experience would really come into play. But I'm just looking at his record here. He obviously, after the Usyk fight, he'd come back and he had 3 fights and then the Ngannou demolition
job.
Well,
Jermaine Franklin, he had Robert Helene, he had Otto Wally, and he smashed Ngannou, which everyone went hallelujah for, right?
Yeah, but he's obviously not in like the BoxRec rankings to see where he is. But the Dubois fight is a fight where, what you've just said then, Spencer, like, match him right. I felt he was match right with Dubois. That's just my opinion. Obviously, I was wrong on that and I was proved wrong, but I felt like Joshua would have and should have came through that, but he obviously didn't. So therefore, it's back to the drawing board. And where do you go from there? What do you do from there? Does he keep the same team around him? Does he go and find someone new and try and adapt and add to his repertoire already? And this move at Usyk, I don't know what it'll be, but if he's fighting before Christmas, then he needs to get in shape quick, because there's only 8 weeks to go, let's say.
Well, my understanding, he's in camp, he's in shape, and just looking to getting out and get back to winning ways is my understanding. That's why they're talking about 8-rounders.
Yeah.
He wants to sort of go under the radar a little bit, and it's difficult for someone like Anthony Joshua because he's such
Very
a
much so.
commercial commodity.
He's always been in shape all the time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He always will be in shape. He's never, ever not been...
But it's not about his
dedicated.
physical shape, is it? No one's ever questioned his physical state. Zach, when I was talking about Anthony Joshua, and I know that the president of his fan club is here in Spencer, but I talked about the PTSD issue post various fights, whether it be the Alexander Usyk or the Daniel Dubois situation. But prior to Daniel Dubois, I always maintained that I felt that despite the performance against Jermaine Franklin, despite the performance against Robert Helenius, which had been blasted out by Deontay Wilder...
Part of Joshua's confidence stems from the level of sparring partners brought in for this camp. Footage shows him trading blows with top-tier heavyweights offering unique challenges. Jared Anderson, known for his power and unrelenting tempo, forces Joshua to keep his defense sharp and his reactions quick. Anderson pressures him constantly, punishing hesitation and demanding focus from start to finish. Frank Sanchez offers a completely different puzzle with his slick footwork, evasive movement, and intelligent positioning. Sparring with Sanchez requires quick adjustments, strategic angles, and clever setups. These sessions do more than test Joshua physically. They simulate elite competition and expose him to scenarios Jake Paul has never encountered. The range of styles helps Joshua put together a complete game plan built on precision, adaptability, and the ability to shift strategies in an instant.
Record saying that you and AJ must retire if Jake Paul wins on December 19th. Stand by that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, oh, I suppose so. Shit, yeah. Look, I don't see a world where Jake Paul wins this fight. I know that boxing's boxing. I mean, what is it? Roy Jones came out this morning and said Jake Paul can win this fight.
Teddy Atlas as well.
Teddy Atlas? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, now I'm a bit worried. I won't retire. AJ should retire if he loses. No,
Sorry.
No, I see AJ winning this fight with ease, comprehensively, destructively, violently, and I don't see a world where Jake Paul is competitive in the fight, let alone win the fight. But luckily, AJ's not preparing in a way that he just thinks it's a joke. He's preparing for Jake Paul like he's a world title contender. Yes, it's been a little bit of a shorter camp. Yes, we've got to make weight this time around, but it doesn't matter. We should just slide through this guy and bash him up and beat him up, and we should do it early doors.
Just lastly, you said as well that you told Nikisa that he was weighing 290 when you were negotiating. What impact did that have? Did you feel like they would have gone even lower if they knew he was weighing 265?
I don't think that when you're negotiating on a weight, there's not one promoter in the world that would tell the truth about what the weight of the fighter was. And Nikisa knows that anyway. So it wasn't like we were being clever, but they wanted him to come to 240. And it's just, don't forget, AJ's never made weight before. So all of a sudden, he's tried, he'd been in camp for, 2 or 3 weeks. And he's probably sitting at, 260, 265. And it's like, you got to make 245.